It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Radeberger ExportBierBrauerei in Radeberg in Germany, and it's their Radeberger Pilsner, coming in at 4.8% ABV in a 500 milliliter can. Looking forward to this one. Half a litre can. Without further ado, they've been brewing since 1872. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. Little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Two to three finger white head. Good levels of carbonation. Interestingly, it's slightly unfiltered. But I say interestingly, it's German beer. They brew quality stuff. There's a little bit of unfiltered goodness, as I like to call it, floating around in this glass. What I mean by this is the beer has not been over-filtered. By over-filtering a beer, by making it absolutely crystal clear, you're dumping all the good stuff down the drain, basically. That's why you see a lot of craft brewers these days. They're producing hazy beer because it's full of flavour. It's full of flavour. It's not being stripped back and thrown down the drain. So I'm quite interested in this Pilsner. The fact that it looks quite commercial. It looks like the brewery have done quite well for themselves. But at the same time, they're holding on to a little bit of quality there. You can see that haze in the glass. Let's get the aroma on this light straw coloured, nicely carbonated beer. Smells like a pretty decent Pilsner to me. Light, crisp, easy drinking. Before I even tasted it, I'm kind of describing the flavours and how it's going to taste. Just done it so many times. We're not far off 7,000 YouTube uploads now. 7,000 uploads. So I've done it once or twice before. It's peppery, spicy. Smells good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. It's got a nice classic, I mean this is classic German kind of industry style Pilsner. It's finish work, whatever time you finish work, hit the pub, hit 4 or 5 of these down. It's very easy drinking, it's very refreshing. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth. It's got a bit of a musty bitterness to it. Whereas I think if this was the difference between this Pilsner and say a Pilsner from a craft brewery would be, it wouldn't be like musty tasting bitterness. It would be, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable. But from a craft brewer, you'd be drinking a Pilsner and you'd be picking up peppers and spices, lemon flavours. If it's really craft Pilsner, then you might have a bit of mango, you know, a bit of orange peel in it as well. But it's perfectly acceptable. It's easy drinking. This is going to be cheap. You'd be picking this up in Germany for between 50 cents and €1 a can. I very much doubt it even hit €1 a can. And they're saying, look, they've won over the years. They've won some gold medals with this over time. It confirms to the German Reinheitsgebot as well. It says it on the side here. Most German beers do. So the beer is brewed only with hops, malt, yeast and water. Good quality of water, mind you. Good quality of German water. You get the kind of softness. Nice soft water. They've either treated the water to get the Pilsner to taste how it's tasting, or they have just have really nice soft spring water at the brewery. And it's probably the latter. It's probably the latter. The reason being why I'm saying latter is because German brewery, this brewery's been going since 1872. They probably didn't really have the means to treat water back then, so they probably set up their breweries where they had a good water source originally, and then they kind of like over time began to treat water and so on and so on. So I imagine this is probably from a German spring in Radeberg in Germany. It's got a bit of a kind of a biscuity, slightly bready, malty flavour there as well. If this was in a... I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the little French stubby bottles you pick up in the supermarket, or you know, dare I say it, back in the day you would drive to France and go on a beer run. Back in my day, when we had duty free. And you'd be able to buy a ton of beer in Calais. There was like warehouses set up. You'd fill your boot up with tons and tons of beer and you drive home again. And it's got that kind of French stubby bottle feel to the lager where, yeah, it's perfectly acceptable. But if you're a craft beer drinker, you might struggle a little bit with this beer in terms of like trying to find flavours, because that's what you're doing as a craft beer drinker. You're looking to bring out all these wonderful flavours. You want to taste these flavours. Not quite really in this beer. This is a just finished mowing the lawn on a Sunday afternoon. I need something to refresh myself, or just finished work. Bish bash bosh, bang, get it down you. It's that type of beer. Cheap and cheerful. I'm going to rate it. Is any history about the beer? Not really. ExportBierBrauerei. Crowned the official drink of King Frederick August III of Saxony. Radeberg Pilsner style beer brewed near Dresden is characterised by its dazzling and refreshing taste and has long been enjoyed by German nobility. Yeah, German nobility. Right, let's rate it. It's alright. It's alright. It's not going to blow anyone's socks off. It's not going to blow anyone's socks off, but it's very refreshing and drinkable. It's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!